And the manner in which we are suspended is really alarming, because I remember the dean requested the OC of Lira Central Division, Lira CPS, to give him 2 vehicles, police vehicles, the Kavangali. And he told the senior security officer, the dean told the senior security officer to make sure that we leave Lira City. So that's the manner we were handled. We were escorted by those police vehicles to our hostels, and they told us to pack our things. Those vehicles took us to YY bus. So that is the manner we were actually, in simple terms, we were deported from Lira, because they escorted us to our hostels. They ensured that we pack our things. After packing our things, they took us to YY bus. They ensured that we book bus tickets to Kampala. And that's when the police vehicles left the bus terminal, after ensuring that, after being sure, confirming that we have booked our travel back to Kampala, because the 4 of us, 3 were from Central Region, and I'm the one from Western. So that is the manner we were treated there in Lira, being deported from your own country, deported from one region. It really gave some kind of trauma. And yeah, but when we were called for the hearings, it was, they termed it hearing. They were trying to give us a fair hearing, but to me, it was just an interrogation room where you would sit and then you just ask the questions. You ask to explain. You're not supposed to explain yourself. You respond to their questions. Like, they are firing new questions, and there are very many people on the panel. You are there alone, all of them. Just firing new questions. So it was more of an interrogation, and they called quite a number of meetings which were interrogatory in nature, and I don't call it a fair hearing. So at the end of it all, that very semester, the semester we were suspended, 2 of the students that we were suspended with were called back to the university to continue their studies, as in they were pardoned, and then we remained on the suspension, me and the chief fresher. So we remained there. We stayed for 1 full academic year. So after that 1 academic year, the chief fresher was called back to the university to further his studies. So in that manner, I expected that now, because I am the guild speaker, it means I'm going to have 2 dead academic years. Like, I thought that if the chief fresher has missed 1 year, then me I would miss 2. So I kept patient, waiting for the 2nd year so that I can be also called back, only to be served with a letter of dismissal, which I received. Me, I was expecting the letter calling me to go and continue with my studies, like a pardon letter or a letter lifting my suspension, but I was unfortunately served with a letter of dismissal. When I got a letter of dismissal, I had nothing to do. I tried to make some alarm to find if someone can help me out, especially those in the legal fraternity. Yeah, lucky enough, I got someone who helped me. We appealed to the university council. We appealed the decision of the vice chancellor to have me dismissed. And then those people delayed a lot, and they did not accord us any hearing. They did not give attention to my appeal. So what we chose to do is to apply for a judicial review at the Lira High Court. And when we applied for judicial review, and my lawyer applied for the matter to be heard expeditiously. He calls it expeditious hearing. So by God's grace, the matter was fixed and to be heard on the 19th of August. That's next week. So that is the traumatizing story and my experience with the Lira University. It is a very long story. I've just tried to summarize everything and cut it short. But I think with time I will share it in its, I'll share it in its detailed information. I'll give the details of the entire process of the whole thing that transpired. And I believe someone there would pick some lessons and would understand how the institutions in our country, public institutions, are being handled, whereby someone is trying to raise an issue, and instead of giving attention to the issue that is being raised, they choose to suppress dissent. And most importantly, the question of, our portal had charges like there was a fee that was called name tag fee, and it was 360,000 that was supposed to be paid. Like seriously, how do you expect me to pay a name tag fee, name tag that they put on the clinical uniforms? How do you expect me to pay a name tag of 360,000? Like, I have to of course ask the material, like which material have you used to make this name tag of 360,000 shillings? And this is what they were not willing to clarify. They would just tell us it is a system error. We wait for the system error to be corrected, but in vain. And then when we frequently keep asking them, they choose to suspend. Like seriously, a name tag. And those who were doing computer science, they had a fee on their portal that was lab coat fee, and it was 480,000 shillings. I have these screenshots because I believe apparently they changed those things on the portals. They changed them, but I have the screenshots, and other students by then they also have the screenshots. Like, how do you expect a student to pay name tag of 360,000? How do you expect someone to pay a lab coat, to pay for a lab coat for the computer scientists at 480,000? Like seriously, in this Uganda, this economy of telling a student to pay that money for a lab coat, like it doesn't add up. The student must ask, is this lab coat made of gold? Like, I think there is, I have a right to ask. If something is inconveniencing me, I'm supposed to ask. Like, you cannot tell me to keep silent if I am paying a lab coat of 480,000, and then you don't want me to ask why it is too expensive to that compared to other lab coats that we see. Like, it really doesn't add up, and the way I was deported, most importantly, that was traumatizing because, you know, I looked like a criminal, I looked like a rebel, you know, being escorted to your hostel. You have to pack your thing. After packing your things, you have to go into the car. You have a lead car for a police lead car that is taking you to the bus, and then they have to make sure that you have booked your travels from that region. Like seriously, it is really traumatizing. This is not the way we are supposed to treat Ugandans in Uganda. Yeah, that is all I can briefly share about the story. So we are pursuing the case and to be heard on 19th, like I've told you. So whoever is willing to stand in solidarity with me, you know, trying to facilitate my lawyers, I really welcome you on board. I really thank everyone who has made it a point to make sure that they show solidarity with me. It is really not easy. It is traumatizing. 2 years when you're out of the university simply because you raised an issue that everyone clearly sees that it needed attention. Because the painful bit of it, you know, an indicator that these people actually understand that it was an issue that needed attention. After I was suspended, they installed some, you know, I don't know how I should call them, floodlights. One of the issues was street lights, so they installed some floodlights, meaning that they knew that the issue of security was also a matter. But they first had to suspend me so that they can respond. Like seriously, thank you so much.